Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, September 9, 1241 America, New York. Authorities rescue 82 people after ferry collision in India. Authorities working overnight rescued 82 people after two passenger ferries collided in a river in northeastern India. Washington Post World, September 9, 1238 America, New York. Your call was important to Glen Palaje. It may have cost him his life. Call center workers in the Philippines helped American customers during the pandemic, sometimes at risk to their own health and safety. Washington Post World, September 9, 1201 America, New York. The world 9/11 created. What if the U.S. had not invaded Iraq? The decision to oust Saddam Hussein, even more so than the invasion of Afghanistan in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, was an unprovoked war of choice that sealed off a range of other policy options available to Washington's strategists and set in motion events that fundamentally altered the region.
World CBS News, com. September 9, 8:41 America, New York. New facility in Iceland will capture 4,000 tons of CO2 out of atmosphere per year. Most scientists agree cutting our future CO2 emissions won't be enough to stop global warming from causing catastrophic impacts. A new industry hopes to supplement that by removing from the atmosphere CO2 emissions that already exist. World CBS News, com. September 9, 8:29 America, New York. Polar bears are inbreeding as ice melts away, scientists say. A new study issues an early warning about the fate of polar bears if their habitats continue to melt away.
Washington Post World, September 9, 8:29 America, New York. Pope Francis sends 15,000 ice creams to prisoners in Italy. The sweet treats were delivered amid Europe's blistering heatwave. New York Times World News, September 9, 8:26 America, New York. Football is like food. Afghan female soccer players find a home in Italy. Members of a team from Herat left behind the lives they had built in Afghanistan in hopes that they can build a future where they can play and thrive. Members of the Herat soccer team at a camp run by the Italian Red Cross in Avezzano, Italy, last week. Washington Post World, September 9, 8:18 America, New York. State TV. Zimbabwean ambassador to Iran dies. Iran's state TV says Zimbabwe's ambassador to Tehran has died.
Wall Street Journal World News, September 9, 8:16 America, New York. ECB eases stimulus program amid robust growth. The European Central Bank said it would slightly scale back its bond buying program, despite a resurgence in COVID-19 cases globally and signs of slowdowns in China and the U.S. that have prompted caution from the Fed.
Washington Post World, September 9, 8:13 America, New York. Jordanian court upholds convictions in royal plot. A Jordanian court has upheld the convictions of two former senior officials on sedition and other charges connected to an alleged plot against the kingdom involving the half-brother of King Abdullah II.
BBC News World, September 9, 8:12 America, New York. Surfside Tower collapse. 3 arrested over victim ID thefts. The suspects are said to have purchased luxury items on illegally obtained credit cards.
World CBS News, com. September 9, 8:10 America, New York. Taliban to let 100 to 150 Americans fly out of Afghanistan, officials say. Qatari officials in Kabul say the U.S. nationals will be among the first to fly out of Afghanistan as the airport slowly resumes operations.
Time, September 9, 8:09 America, New York. America's time in Afghanistan is up. What we owe to their people has no expiry date. When you're waging a forever war, the one thing you think you always have enough of is time. That's what the successive U.S. presidential administrations, the Pentagon, and State Department believed until the Taliban took control of Kabul last month without a shot fired.
September 9, 8:08 America, New York. First on CNN, Democrats' clean electricity program would create nearly 8 million jobs through 2031, analysis shows. The linchpin climate policy of congressional Democrats' $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill would spur massive job growth over the next decade, a new analysis finds.
RT World News, September 9, 8:07 America, New York. France won't accept financial blackmail, and anything that breaks the law, minister says amid migrant row with the UK. French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin has responded bluntly to British Home Secretary Priti Patel's plan to send migrant boats crossing the English Channel back to France.
September 9, 8:05 America, New York. Pandemic unemployment benefits and eviction protections have expired. Here's what federal help is still available. Americans are no longer protected from evictions or receiving beefed-up unemployment payments, but they are still benefiting from many other federal coronavirus rescue measures.
Washington Post World, September 9, 8:04 America, New York. WHO says Africa's already thin vaccine supply to drop by 25%. Africa's already thin supply of COVID-19 vaccines has taken another significant hit. New York Times World News, September 9, 8:01 America, New York. Taliban officials say that international flights at Kabul airport will resume. The move would be the first step in resolving an impasse that has left scores of foreigners stranded, but there was no indication about whether Afghan nationals would also be allowed to depart. Members of the Taliban last month at the Kabul airport. 3 flights from Persian Gulf nations were said to have landed at the airport on Thursday.
Wall Street Journal World News, September 9, 8 o'clock America, New York. Germany's center-left is using Angela Merkel's strategy to beat her conservatives. Olaf Scholz of the Social Democratic Party has adopted the longtime conservative chancellor's centrist approach to lead the race to determine her successor.
New York Times World News, September 9, 7:49 America, New York. A family's year-long quest to return to Hong Kong during the pandemic. The Bourdias have been trying to return to Hong Kong, their home of 13 years, from India, where they traveled early in the pandemic. But their journey has become a game of transoceanic whack-a-mole. Hong Kong in June.
Mirror World News, September 9, 7:47 America, New York. Dachshund owner makes dog's mini living room with TV, bar cart and sofas. Peaches, Mitzi and Hala are often spotted snuggled up on the sofas watching TV in their own room.
RT World News, September 9, 7:47 America, New York. New Zealand PM says hospital visitors should not have sex with patients during pandemic, or any other time. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has made it clear that hospital visitors should not be having sex with patients after the country's Director General of Health called such activity high risk due to COVID-19.